I want to thank you guys again that submitted your questions for the weekly Q&A. Got so many of them, I had to break it up into 2 parts. Make sure you check out part 1, which was uploaded on Sunday night. And this is part 2. Let's go ahead and get started. You want to get questions answered in the future, follow me on Twitter. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Kyle Gardner92 kicking us off. Hello, Jeff. Hope you're doing well and everything's going okay in your world. It is. So thank you for that. I hope the same for you. Do you think that Carson Wentz can turn his career around in Indianapolis? And where do you think the Colts rank in the AFC if he can? If he can, they're probably top 3-4 team. Can he? I think he can. Will he? Remains to be seen. At BirdDog502, who's your pick for the U.S. Open? Does Phil have any chance to get their Grand Slam? As much as I would love to see Phil get the career Grand Slam, get that fucking major, get that 7th major, I just can't see him winning a month later after that kind of miraculous, like, once-in-a-lifetime run at the PGA. Just would defy all logic and expectations. I would say your kind of default, like it used to be back in the day, that when you were picking somebody to win the tournament, you would have Tiger Woods or pick the field, and a lot of times you would pick Tiger Woods. I think if you're picking a guy right now and you use that kind of as a default, not certainly to the same level as Tiger, but I'd probably go with Brooks Koepka is always a great place to start if you're thinking about somebody you want to put money on to potentially win a major. He seems to always be in the fucking mix, and he just played pretty well at the PGA last month. At Keys 10, what do you think will start World War III? I think it'll be some type of geopolitical thing, potentially economic, potentially American intervention in some godforsaken place that we don't fucking belong. Like, I could see it being some type of proxy war between, not proxy war, it's not the right way to put it, but a war with America and its allies versus, like, China and Russia taking place in some type of, like, intermediary place, such as North Korea, would be something that I could potentially see. Asia Latte. Who do you think New Orleans Saints' best chance at quarterback is to make the playoffs this year? And if you're asking me, honestly, I think it's Jameis. I don't buy Taysom Hill as a starter for 17 games. I don't. I'm going to have to be proven otherwise. At Rick Styles 1985, who are the most snake-bitten teams in the NBA since you started watching? Teams that always get close but can never seal the deal. Snake-bitten teams. The Utah Jazz, especially those 97 and 98 teams. Those early 2000s Kings teams was another one. They got close, but they couldn't get there either. You know, the Bulls with Derrick Rose, like when he was playing at an MVP level and he tears up his knee, like that was kind of snake-bitten in and of itself. You know, maybe the Phoenix Suns, they've gotten close over the years, the 93 finals, just one example. But they had Nash and Marion and Stoudemire and could never get over the hump. So there's certainly been some different ones. Those are just some of the ones that I think of. Crypto-related one. Do you think the new Browns defense is good enough to help them win the division? And do you think Zach Wilson and the Jets' new coaching staff can turn things around in New York? Second question first. I think there's a chance that could happen. I like the trajectory that they're on. For the first question, we'll see. Ultimately, though, it comes down to, like, how good is Baker going to be? Because if Baker was better last year, or just as importantly, if Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, had more trust in Baker, they beat the Chiefs. And then once you get to the AFC Championship game, who the fuck knows? That's what it comes down to. At Maximus Decimal, are you ever going to make a video about your thoughts on the Last Dance documentary? Probably not. At King Jordan 8476, who is a breakout player on offense and defense for the Bears. On offense, I'm sure easy money is going to be on Darnell Mooney. On defense, it's probably going to be Jalen Johnson, I would think. At EPW Show, what is the most intriguing NBA Finals we could have with the remaining teams? Can you have one? I think it's probably Sixers and Clippers, because you play off the Doc Rivers story. Otherwise, maybe it's Brooklyn and the Clippers. Like, in terms of storylines and so forth, that's probably the most intriguing one. At CAZYA185, what is your all-time favorite MCU movie, or have you ever watched one before? I'm pretty sure I've watched a Marvel movie before, if that's what you're asking here. Favorite Marvel movie? I don't know. I think either the first or second Iron Man, maybe for me. No. Black Panther. Thank you. Took me a moment. I'm sorry. Black Panther. But there are certainly others, but that's probably my favorite. Vinny E_21. Better safety, Troy Polamalu or Ed Reed? I was always more of a Polamalu fan personally. But I think the one that goes down as being better is probably Ed Reed, because he was the more dynamic pass defender. He was the more explosive player in terms of he could make big things happen defensively. Polamalu is great. Polamalu is a Hall of Famer, but Ed Reed probably goes down as being a little bit better. At Fire in the Shire, what is your way too early offensive rookie of the year winner? Also, how long do you give the Bears if when Andy Dalton shits the bed? Dalton wakes up with a red river of shit on his bed. What is your way too early off? Why do they keep asking me about offensive rookie of the year? I think it's all these people wanting me to fucking say Justin Fields. You can be excited about Justin Fields and not have to seek my validation by asking this question about who's going to win offensive rookie of the year. At Sandy, 1098.76, what do you think happened to Wentz? How much do you blame Doug Peterson? Do you think Wentz returns back to top 12 QB form in Indy? I think there's a chance that he can. What do I think happened to Wentz? I always look back at that one moment when he tore up his knee in the 2017 season, like, it's never truly been the same since, and having other injuries, like, it's hard. You build momentum, then you got to stop, and you build momentum, and then you got to stop, and I think it's part of it. I think I blame Doug Peterson a little bit for it. I think I blame some of the mechanics and decision-making of Carson Wentz. I think in some cases I blame some of what Philly did in terms of building the team around Carson Wentz. There's a lot of different things I could point to. At Craig HNIC, what's the one thing you miss the most about the 90s? The 90s Bulls. Oh, yeah. The 90s Bulls. That's what I would be. Ready Lizard 37. How would you fix the Aaron Rodgers situation? There are two choices. If you're not ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers, then you go to him and give him a contract extension that makes him the highest paid quarterback in the league. If you're not willing to do that, then step two is trade him now. Get what you can for him now. Start the Jordan Love experience now, because you need to find out what that young man can have. Those are the only two ways you can fix the situation. You either pay him a shit ton of money and then you move on from Jordan Love, or you move on from Aaron Rodgers and you pray to God Jordan Love is the dude. At S Visions, what do you think of the notion that the NBA is more athletic than talented than ever before right now? Oh, God. As new generations come along, as dietary habits improve, as advances are made in strength training and in training in general and in plyometrics and so forth, it's not hard to see that guys are bigger, faster, stronger. There's no question. But how that athleticism and talent translates to the actual game is vastly different. If you think talent just equates to being able to jack up a bunch of three-pointers and hit about 36% of them, then maybe you think this is the most athletic the league has ever been. I don't fucking think so. Certainly not from a talent standpoint. No, this is not the most talented era ever. Only dumb young bucks think that crap. At Mojo_Jojo1104, can you show off your house like they do on Cribs? We want to see the Schlegg Mansion. Why would you want to see Casa de Crap? If you're really that curious about what my house looks like, don't say it, Jeff. Don't say it. He's going to say it, son of a bitch. I gotta say it. Ask your mom what it looks like, especially the bedroom. Just kidding, Mojo Jojo, or am I? Call me daddy. At David B. Flores 2. How would you react if the Chicago Bears made the playoffs at 9-8 or 10-7? Depends. If that was because Justin Fields was their starter for 17 games, then I probably feel pretty good about it. If they get there with that record and they're fucking 7th seed because they were desperate and they started Dalton for most, if not all, the season, it's going to piss me off every bit like last season did. That's the context that matters there. At Bench Dalton Now, fantastic Twitter handle. What do you think of the Cubs so far, and what do you think they should do at the deadline? I'm pleasantly surprised with what they've done so far. I don't know how much I believe in it just yet, but if they're in a position come the end of July, in my opinion, they should be active and go for it. One last run. Do I believe they will? No, I don't. At Derek MWN, who do you think the dark horse team to watch will be in the NFL this year in the AFC and the NFC? Dark horse team. NFC East, no. NFC North, no. NFC South, no. NFC West, no. What if I say no? AFC, Chargers. Although I think they're getting too much attention to truly be a dark horse. At Jay-Z is overrated. Fantastic Twitter handle. Whose work do you like more, Will Smith or Eddie Murphy? God damn, that's a fantastic question. I'll flip that question to the viewers. Who do you guys like their body of work more, Will Smith or Eddie Murphy? I would jump on that and say, who's had more truly memorable generational type of roles in movies, Will Smith or Eddie Murphy? In terms of body of work over the length of their career, it's Will Smith. At their absolute peaks in terms of movie star and drawing power, it's Eddie Murphy. At Chase Lance, what are some conspiracy theories you believe? UFOs are real. The CIA helped perpetuate the crack epidemic in this country. Has been involved in the drug trade in this country for generations. Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone. The official 9/11 story is some form of fabrication of bullshit. Doesn't mean I prescribe necessarily to all the craziness that you hear, but do a lot of the things add up? No. Do I think it was nearly as well investigated as it should have been? No. So those would be some. Certainly is not the fucking flat earth. Let's see here. Justin Fields season. Now that we have Justin Fields, do you think the Bears are right to try and win now, or should they have blown it up and started over? Well, now that you've drafted Justin Fields, you got to go all fucking in. There's no other option. You must go all in. At Kuiper_123. Why did the big three mainstream media networks collectively conduct character assassination campaigns against Governor Jesse Ventura for his views against regime change war and the two-party system? You know the answer to that. You know the answer to that, sir. Got to have these major networks toe the company line because they like that military money for the advertising too. At Ncyple99, how many Bears jerseys do you have right now? The answer is one. It's a Walter Payton one, and that is it. At Real Cody Martin, do you think Trump can win in 2024? I think it's very possible, given the fact that Democrats haven't passed any major legislation since the stimulus checks, even though they control Congress and the White House. Yeah, I would say in terms of the Democrat piece, like, really fucking stupid. Like, your response to the party that really didn't want to do bipartisanship is to want to do bipartisanship, and then you're surprised when it doesn't fucking work. Like, you know, people always talk about conservatism, Republicans being dumb, and maybe I agree in some ways in terms of what they stand for or believe in. But when you talk about, like, actual intelligence of how to play the political game and run a government and manage that, Democrats are the fucking dummies. They are absolutely dumb. You've got the presidency. You've got the vice president that sits as the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. You've got control of the House. And you can't pass any of your progressive agenda. Many of those items that poll incredibly popularly, that candidates that run at local and even statewide races run on those platforms win, and those that run on the more traditional Biden, Clinton, eat your vegetables, respect your parents, stay in school platform fucking don't win and often get creamed in the process. Yeah. Anyways, to your question, do you think Trump can win in 2024? There's a lot of time left before that. Do I think from an ego standpoint that he's entertaining the thought of running? Oh, absolutely. Do I think he would like to run again and just cause more havoc and chaos, but ultimately lose? Just to stir shit up, possibly. If he was on the ticket, though, in 2024, especially if he's running against Kamala or an early 80s Joe Biden, he would have a chance. And you say, how do you say that? Because he won in 2016 against the ultimate establishment candidate in Hillary Clinton. And then in 2020, Biden beat him, and it was legitimate. Don't be fucking idiots, people. But even Biden's victory wasn't nearly as impressive as it should have been. Like, you had all these circumstances with COVID and everything else. If COVID doesn't happen, Trump probably wins re-election. That's a reality. I don't like it, but that's a reality. It should have been a massive blue wave, and it fucking wasn't. So, if he was on the ticket, there's always a chance. That Jay-Z is overrated. You love black women, so what's the root of your dislike for Beyonce? Isn't she like the poster for black females? I didn't know black women had a poster or a poster woman. I don't like Beyonce because I get tired of kind of like that almost like cult mentality of her fans, the Bayhive. Like, everything she does is fucking awesome or incredible. Oh my God, look at this article that talks about all the magnificent things she does. Who gives a shit? I think she's a great talent, tremendous performer, shitty actor. Physically, not my flavor. Not dark enough, if you want to know. I just think she's overrated a little bit. Like, she's a great talent, great performer, but I get tired of people talking about her sometimes like they do. Like, there's almost this hero worship thing. That's why. So with that, we have reached the end of the Q&As for this week. Thank you, everybody, again, that submitted your questions. I am out. I'll have more early 2022 quarterback scouting reports coming up on this channel throughout the week. The next couple are going to be, I believe, Kadon Slovis from USC and JT Daniels. So we're going to get a couple of the scrubs out of the way before hopefully I get to some other more noteworthy prospects. And yeah, I fucking said it. So what? I'm out.